Hey, this is Jesse Vincent from the Word Cruncher team. I am answering a user question about how to look for questions inside of the scriptures, specifically the Gospels. They want to know what questions did Jesus use throughout the Gospels. Unfortunately, we don't have anything tagged that says that Jesus said this or Peter said that. It's all basically just a book necessarily. Now we do have a different version of the Book of Mormon with voices identified that we can essentially do a search like this where we look for a question mark and then we can go to bounds, reference or attribute bounds, and then select a voice like Jesus Christ. If I just go down and select Jesus Christ, and then that would give me all the question marks that are tagged as being Jesus Christ's voice in the Book of Mormon. Now, I know that's not very helpful in the terms of New Testament, but I did want to show that, just that it is available, at least for the Book of Mormon, and we might consider making one for the New Testament in the future. But since we don't have that, I will show some of the different things in order to actually get that kind of list. So I'm going to close out of the Book of Mormon with voices identified and then go into the search for the scriptures. So as I've shown, by the way, is that in order to look for a question mark, I'm doing question mark, not just question mark, because question mark is considered a wild card looking for one letter. This is usually used in the case that you're looking for something like ME question mark T, and what that will do is it will look for meat as in MEAT or meat as in MEET. Not that you would usually do a search like that, but anyway, I'm gonna do a question mark like that, and then I'm also going to put a bounds on it for table of contents bounds, and I'm going to specifically select Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So that narrows down my search results so that I am finding 630 different question marks that are within Matthew. You can kind of see that how many are in each one. So you got 177 question marks in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. However, this doesn't do what we want necessarily. This only shows us question marks throughout all of Matthew through John. So the only way to really get a nice clean list of the ones that Jesus said is to just go through each one and read them and say, is this spoken by Jesus or not? Now, one thing that would be really, really useful, just so that you don't lose your progress, because maybe you're doing this in the middle of you're just taking 3 or 4 hours to go through each version of the verses. However, I always think that it's useful to pin the tab. And the reason, if I don't pin the tab, I'll just show you, for example, here's list 2. You might not really notice this. It's very, very small, very difficult to see. But if I'm on list 2, and then I do another search, let's say for this parentheses right here, then it overwrites list 2. However, if I search for the question mark and I pin it and then do another search, then it actually goes into a separate list away from list 2. Now, for some reason, my word cruncher is not responding because my computer is doing other things, so I apologize for that. Hopefully this will be back up in just a second. Good. All right, so I've got list 3, but I can go back to list 2 and it has my information on it. So anyway, what you can do is you can press this X next to the delete, or next to X, whichever references are not from Jesus, and then just work your way down through the list until you have all of the questions from Jesus. One other thing that's just nice to know, by the way, is that you can go to File and Save References, and you can save your search results. So let's say I close out of this. In fact, let me unpin everything so that pretty much nothing is in my search results. And then I'm in the scriptures again. I haven't done a search. What I can do is I can go back to File, Load References, and then open Jesus Questions, and then I will have my list back. So if you're not planning on doing something like this within the first few within a 2 or 3 hour period, depending on how long it takes you to go through all of 630 search results, then I would encourage definitely going to File, Save References, so that you save your search results and then load them in when you come back to it. So, and then if you aren't familiar, of course, you can right click in this box and go to Copy Preferences. And if you just want the full verse, then you can go just select output text around the search hit and then say, I just want the verse that it's included in. If you want the citation, then just make sure that that's checked. And then if you do a copy, then you will be able to put that into like a Microsoft Word document so that you have all of the different questions that are asked. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's not the most ideal, but it is probably the only way that I can think of better than trying to do it with Gospel Library or the church's website. So let me know if you have any more questions.